The majority of the families that we work with have a lot of fear that their loved one is going to feel confronted and it's going to be controversial. And they're often so surprised that their loved one feels relief, that I don't have to carry this load by myself, that there are people here who are willing to continue to love me and support me in getting help. An intervention is the most loving and compassionate way to ask a family member to get help. It's just a conversation, a healthy, courageous conversation where as a family we're getting the elephant out of the room to help somebody step out of their own denial and to get some clarity around how their disease is affecting them and somebody else. And probably most importantly, talking about the solution, which is treatment.
Intervention is not about confrontation. It is about love and connection and conversation. It's hard to believe that someone could love us when we are in that place. And this is saying, no, it's the opposite. The power of walking in a room and here's everybody that's saying, no, you are loved. And we do realize that you don't want this life. And we're willing to risk you being angry because we love you that much.
The right time to intervene is when somebody has started to experience consequences from their using or drinking. Generally what we see is that somebody's life starts to feel unmanageable. Legal issues, family issues, kids being taken away, employment is being impacted, finances. And when those things are happening, the time to intervene is early. Early diagnosis and treatment leads to higher success rates. And so we hear it all the time when we need to wait for them to hit their bottom, don't know when that will be. The problem with that strategy is that it can take years for somebody to hit their own bottom. And anybody who is an active addict or alcoholic, they're at some level of a risk of a fatality every day.
Driving drunk and killing someone else or driving high, do we want to take the chance for that to be someone's bottom? If I had stage 2 cancer, would our family members say, well, let's just wait till it's stage 4 and then we'll treat it? You know, that makes no sense.
What we know is that the motivation for most people to want to stay sober comes when they're at treatment, not before. And so what an intervention does is really raise the bottom for somebody to give them an easier path to say yes. During the intervention process, most of the work is done with the family. The conversation with their loved one is more straightforward, and that's the easier part, actually. Families need so much education around this disease and what's going on in the heart and the brain. They need education on what is treatment. It's not where we're just teaching somebody how to not drink or use. It's really looking at all the underlying factors why somebody is prone to self-medicate and self-numb. This is simply about being open to the idea that there may be a better way to live that's more purposeful and brings you closer to all of the people that you love you.
Absolutely. If you feel like life's not working, maybe this could help.
The expectation is at the conclusion of a conversation, intervention with a loved one, part of the beauty of that is it does create a sense of urgency. And the expectation is that everything is set to go that so somebody can leave from that conversation right then and go to treatment. Sometimes there's an interim step with detox, but it's the role of the interventionist to make that happen and to get somebody moving and in the direction of admitting.
One of the things that I think is beautiful about the Ridge specifically is that the family gets to be engaged in their own treatment. the power of being able to be with your loved one that's in treatment and sit and listen to doctors' lectures, to counselors talk about how do I support my loved one but not enable. What does that look like? What does that mean? How have I been doing it? To have those times and to also listen to people share their experience, strength, and hope.
People who have been to the Ridge who are in recovery.
Yeah.
I get to see people every single day who find the magic of completely changing their life. The transformation, the contrast of somebody in their active addiction to in recovery, it's indescribable. And it's not just their transformation, but the transformation of family members. If I had to summarize all of the comments that I've heard from people who have been to the Ridge, they describe it as a magical place of healing. And I think that's exactly what it is. Visit the Ridge website to get more information on interventions or any other questions you have.